We're currently set up in our new location.
Yeah.
Which is extremely different from our old location.
Yeah, it's about 3 meters behind where we were before.
Yes. It's starting to rain again. It's not very bad. It's we can
I think we'll push through.
We can keep on going.
Laptop's already wet.
Will I do the intro again? Nah, I won't do the intro again.
I don't think so.
So
okay, so this week some things have been happening.
Yeah, all right. That's let's get straight into them, because one of the most interesting things that I saw was GameStop.
Okay.
So this one is GameStop is the topic, and we're looking at one of the most interesting stock increases that I've ever seen. It's gone up from, so here we go. I've got a couple of visuals for you here.
Awesome.
So it's actually gone up.
Should I come look at this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the 1 month increase. So you can see on the 1 month we're at 1,587% up. But if you look at the one, so it's gone in that case from $19 to $325.
Oh wow!
But if you look at the 1 year increase, it's gone up 8,160%. There's some really revving going on in the background.
Yeah. So some context is we are on the foreshore here in Newcastle where we live, and people in their tricked out cars love to come along and just sort of show everybody how loud they are.
They are revving hard.
It's part of the culture, and so we're just embracing it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
absolutely.
so you were saying 8,000%?
Yeah, so 8,000%. So
on the yearly graph.
Yeah, so it's gone from $3 and $3.93
when?
up to, so this is 1 year ago, so 30th of Jan 2020, all the way up to the now price of $325.
Whoa!
Who knows what it'll be when we actually release this one?
Yeah.
Because it's currently that was the 29th of Jan.
Might be
price.
minus $30.
That's the Friday thing. So it's gone up 67% in the last day.
Okay.
But it's had days of over 100% growth for the last week, and so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So it's 4% down after market, but that's not controlled by the retail investor, which is that's what this move is all really about. It's about the retail investor. So Wall Street Bets is the subreddit making it all happen.
Okay.
And,
are you active on here?
I'm very active on
Really?
Wall Street Bets. Yeah.
I'm not.
So yeah, it's a good one. It's there's certainly a lot that goes on, and it's very interesting to look at.
Okay.
So it's got, so here we go. Here's my first visual from this.
Yeah.
Which
if you can see,
my waterproof laptop will.
Is it waterproof?
No. Is there a waterproof laptop?
Probably.
We've got a tweet from Elon Musk that says "Game stonk."
Oh yes.
And then it's a
True.
link. It's a link just to Wall Street Bets.
Dang.
And,
January 27th.
Yeah. So
that was a big day. Was that the peak of GameStop as well?
It could have been. There were a couple
on that graph that you had. Is it gone or is it?
I think there's two.
There's like for the two companies that I've been looking at, 25th and 27th were like the two big peaks.
Yeah, so it had a big peak, but it's pretty much back there. So
okay.
It had a huge drop and then it's back there again.
Okay.
So when I joined it was about 2 years ago, and it had 100,000 users.
Yeah.
At the beginning of 2020, I can remember it crossing over the million mark.
Oh wow!
Right now, it's got 6.5 million degenerates.
Wow.
Most of those in the last 3 days.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, absolutely.
It's pretty crazy, but
interesting.
The tagline is like 4chan found a Bloomberg terminal. Now, there's a couple of like niche little things there.
Okay.
So 4chan was kind of like a prank kind of. They did really stupid stuff on a forum, basically. And a Bloomberg terminal is what a pro-finance bank will use when valuing their assets and
which is
doing
supposed
trading.
to be the opposite of these guys.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's reality, we don't know.
Yeah, so it's it's a combo of those two things. So I've got another little visual here.
Okay.
This one's riddled with the visuals, but here we've got a $600 to $130K play here, which is a $40 call. You can see, and you can see that the percentage there is plus 98,000. But that's just on that move or whatever. So then he would have made a couple of other positions.
So true.
But so it's pretty insane.
I heard that there was this guy who I think it was in 2019. Do you know this guy? He's like, he came famous. He's like, he's got the F word in his tag name.
Yeah. So, this is one that's recently.
Have you heard of this guy?
Yeah.
He like put in 50 grand or something.
Yeah. So
is what I heard.
That's one of the next. That's one of the next ones potentially.
Okay,
I'm not actually sure if it's him, but.
So I heard in 2019, I think it was, this guy put 50 grand in because he saw that GameStop was undervalued and saw potential, and now his portfolio is worth 22 mil.
Okay, this one that I'm going to show is pretty impressive.
Okay,
but so basically what Wall Street Bets have had though, they've had like a whole bunch of they've had a whole bunch of spam accounts which are now trying to hype random other in the past stocks, because we've had like BlackBerry, Bed Bath and Beyond, stuff like that go up, which were actually like they were like non-spam ones though. Yeah. And then we've had some spam accounts posting stuff about Nokia, and which is also going up and stuff. So
and maybe a couple that I might mention.
Now there is some real stuff going on. So yeah, there's spam accounts on there, and they've gone private now. Yeah. But on Discord they were banned. Yeah. So that was kind of funny. Yeah. And then here we go. We've got our other gain here. I've got this other screenshot. Okay. This gain, I'll show you it. It's up 20 million on the daily. Oh, and true. A total gain of 33 million. Whoa. And a value in the portfolio of 47.9 million. So that one's pretty impressive. That's some April $12 calls. So yeah, the call options are one way to make some insane money. Yes. But they'll never have to really work again if they don't want to, but they probably won't.
I wonder how long that'll last.
Well, they'll probably hold their positions, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah. They'll lose it all, I don't know. Yeah. But, here we go. My next section is entitled Fundamentals. Okay. There aren't many. So.
Oh, of GameStop? Yeah. Okay, perfect. What do you got?
So, well, I've got their year-over-year earnings was up 64%. So, okay, as impressive as that is, it's not 8,000% impressive in terms of
that's
growth.
Interesting that it's up. Yeah. I guess they've done well on their e-commerce.
Well, yeah, so they've I think that they've tried to turn the model around, but obviously it's not about the business, it's about sending a message, you know. Yeah. But they've had a decline in revenue of 34%. So the sales is going down. It seems like they're getting more scalable. Yeah. I don't know, let's see where that one goes. I don't think the fundamentals are at all an issue here, though. We've got market depth. This one was interesting. This was the most traded stock of the day, a couple of days. So I saw it beat Tesla for most traded stock, which was insane.
That's insane.
The next section will be about the Big Short. So here we go. This is Michael Burry, who was in the Big Short. Mm-hmm. He has been super active on Twitter in the last week. Yeah. So he runs Scion Capital, which is his original, and it was in the Big Short, the fund, but now he runs it without anyone else's money. It's all entirely him.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So it's just his fund.
Dang.
So, and also played by Christian Bale in the Big Short, and the Big Short is currently the top trending movie on Netflix when I had a look last night. So
yeah, wow.
So there we go. So what I did was I used a Bloomberg terminal to go through and have a look at what his hedge fund is holding. And this is more than a week ago, which is now really annoying because I was thinking about copying his portfolio just because I think that would be because he has we have no overlap at all. So my stocks and his stocks are completely different. Yeah. He really, from what I've seen in the past, he seems to go for really value-based investing. Yeah. But he definitely outperforms like crazy. Yeah. So he's pretty sharp. But he's I noticed last week that he had 11% of his hedge fund in GameStop in the regular shares. So he's just bought the shares. And this is based on a filing in September. And so taking a regular long position in the shares. And yeah, so so one thing that's happened obviously is that they've brought down a few hedge funds, and he sent this tweet out. Here we go. I've got this one. So it says there can't be another Oh, that was loud. It says there can't be another GME because there's nothing even close to being shorted that much. So it was shorted at over 100% of where the share, like how many shares there were.
Yeah, true.
And it's just such a small thing. So it was like a perfect. He said it was a perfect storm.
Yeah.
And it just turned out really well. It was just people being too greedy.
Yeah.
And in their hedge funds.
Yeah.
And taking on too much risk. Elon called out for shorting to be illegal.
Yeah.
And that's
you got a bit of backlash for that though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but so Tesla has been constantly bring it back to Tesla again because that's our theme. Tesla has been constantly shorted all the time.
Yeah. It frustrates him. I can understand that because from his perspective, like he's trying to build a valuable business. And all these people are just trying to make money, but not adding any value to anything.
Yeah,
and so
definitely.
I could see as someone like him who attributes his whole life to like changing the world, and then there's these people who are just like grabbing money and essentially like making it harder for him, driving his stock price down, and which affects him personally even. And so I could definitely understand his frustration.
Yeah, for sure. And he even released those shorts. We'll put a little picture here. The short shorts, which were against the shorters.
Lol.
So I don't know if you saw that. He was drop shipping short shorts. They were satin red, literally booty shorts. And
recently?
Yeah, he did it in the last. He did it in the last 3 months, or maybe.
I have seen it.
Maybe
I
3
thought you
months
meant
ago.
like this week or something.
No, not recent. Yeah,
that's great.
Maybe 6 months ago.
Sold out?
But
just like all their merch.
Just like Tesla Tequila, can't get a bottle.
No.
Reselling crazy,
Yeah.
Anyway, so the two companies that I'm going to pay particular attention to are Citron and Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
Citron, and Melbourne Capital. Citron particularly annoys me because right after I bought calls on Palantir, which I talked about in episode 1, by the way, immediately after I bought calls on Palantir, they shorted it.
Yeah.
Which drove it down quite a bit, but I've since recovered.
Nice.
But so
are you still in that position?
Yeah, still in that position.
Okay.
So I was up a massive amount, and I tried. This is going to make you giggle, but I tried to close it out, and it dipped immediately. So my calls were, and I don't know if you understand fully how they work, but they were $12.70 essentially.
Right.
$12.70, and which means that they're times 100, so you can work it out for yourself. But they $1,200 each and $2,500 each, $2,500 in total or whatever. But the issue that happened with them is that they were $12.70, and I pressed sell on $12.70, and then the order didn't go through because it was immediately dipped back down. Like I just wasn't fast enough.
Oh dang!
So it dipped back down and hit, and then it went back to 9:30 or something. So.
Oh wow!
Not a huge issue though, because earnings are on the 11th of Feb, and I think they're going to have a big run up until then. Yep. They beat.
I think the news will be good.
Back to Palantir for 1 second. Yeah, so they beat earnings by more than double the expectation last time.
Oh wow!
So earnings per share was.
But is that a bad thing? Because does that mean that if they don't do that again, the price is going to tank?
Well, the expectation is that they're going to. The expectation is set for them to beat it again. Which means that I'll sell before the news.
Yeah. Okay. Smart.
So yeah, because I think even when you sell after the news, your calls are worth less anyway.
Okay.
Because your calls will go down when because there's no volatility, there's no expectation.
Yeah.
Because they're based on a number of factors instead of just price.
Yeah.
So anyway, on Citron, they posted this, which was quite funny, and it's kind of a win, I think, for. Kind of the world, because it means that other people won't be as bearish. It's kind of a win and a loss because now you can't use this information, but they posted on their Twitter, Citron Research discontinues short selling research. After 20 years of publishing, they're no longer going to publish short reports, which means that other hedge funds and whatever won't be piggybacking off their shorting.
Yep.
Which is good for company. It's good for the little guy. Like it's good for those GameStops and those people that are actually just trying to sell some video games. Like without being
because everyone doesn't pile in. From their ideas.
On the other hand, it means that we are going to struggle to do this again because, well, by we I mean Wall Street Bets is going to struggle to do this again.
Yeah.
With picking up those and like trying to like force out hedge funds and whatever.
Interesting.
So they've stopped publishing those.
Yeah, right.
I've got the next one, which is a report. So I've got an article from CNBC here, which has short sellers have lost $19.75 billion so far this year shorting GameStop.
Wow.
Which is pretty insane.
Yeah, wow.
So they're still holding on, a lot of them, which is crazy. But yeah, it's pretty wild. So there's a couple that are holding out. I think Melvin started to really struggle though.
Yeah.
So they had a $2.8 billion bailout after being 30% down.
Yeah, right.
So their billionaire founder or whatever came in and saved it. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm not 100% sure on this. Steve Cohen, potentially.
Okay.
Oh, that might be another billionaire who's just also shorting it, because I know that he's gotten a lot of flack. He's actually deleted his Twitter account now.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, he's obviously taken too much.
Yeah.
Everyone tweeting at him.
True.
So
deleted it.
yeah, he's deleted. He's worth 14.
That's extreme.
He's worth 14 billion.
Okay.
And so obviously pumping 2.8 into his hedge fund or whatever was kind of funny that he just would have immediately lost that.
Yeah.
Shorting. And so yeah, everyone's just trying to hold out. So a couple of I just want to talk about a couple of the basics for some people that wouldn't know. So short selling is and like everyone's been throwing around the term short squeeze, you know. So it's selling. You sell borrowed shares now to do short selling, and then you buy them back in the future, and you return them to the person that you borrowed them from.
Yep.
So what happens there is you're selling shares now at a high point, but you're selling the borrowed shares, which means you're bearish, and then you're hoping for it to go down so you can buy in the future for a lower price, return those shares, and then the underlying guy just makes some kind of premium and gets paid some kind of fee or whatever for lending his shares out. And then the short squeeze is what happened, which is where the price actually wasn't lower in the future. And the short squeeze is where, because they're forced to buy it back, they're actually forced to force the price back up. So
and is that because they're managing funds and there's certain rules? Would there be some sort of like stop loss or something like that where when they're losing enough money they just literally have to close the position? Do you think that's a situation?
Short. I'm not 100% sure, because I know that
because otherwise you could just hold.
There's margin calls. Well, there's margin calls on options, but I'm not 100% sure if there's margin calls on short positions. Okay. I'd say there would be, just to keep. Yeah, you'd have to keep paying margin, but yeah, I don't 100% know how margins with short selling works. But yeah, so obviously they have to buy it back in the future, which forces the price up even more. So on Friday, yesterday, the price went up 67% just because the price was so high and all these guys have to buy it back. Yeah. And so even though everyone was restricted from buying it, the hedge funds had to buy or whatever. And so so yeah, here we go. So my next segment is about Robinhood. And this one's very interesting. So its entire business model, I'm not 100% sure if you know how it works, but they sell data to hedge funds. So that's kind of how
I have heard of this.
How they make the money.
Yeah.
So they actually at a certain point they started to limit everyone to 2 stocks per day that you could buy. So
really.
So yeah. So I'll just pause for 1 sec. There we go. Yeah. So they limited 2 stocks per day. Yeah. Then they limited it to 1 stock per day, and then they limited it to selling only. So this is 3 of the days last week.
Recently?
Yeah, this is 3 of the days last week.
Are you sure?
Yeah, so they limited it to...
I watched an interview today and the guy said that they only took off like 13 tickers from their website. They didn't stop anyone buying the other 5,000 stocks.
Okay, well anyway, here's this graph which shows where the 2 institutions 2-share limit where it started to decline. Then we've got Robinhood instituting a 1-share limit, and then it's declining more. And then at a certain point after this, they did no shares at all.
Yeah, right.
And then here's something even more fascinating. I've got another one here, which said, so here's a message to a shareholder, and it says that in light of your restricting transactions, all that kind of thing, we've decided to close out your position in GME for you. So they've automatically sold for all the people that have Robinhood accounts.
Dang.
and over 50% of Robinhood users have had a GameStop position.
Whoa.
So it's pretty wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they had a 27% decline on the day that they stopped allowing people to buy.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. Robinhood needed this week, and this is another interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
They needed $1 billion to cover all their margin lending positions. So they funded that with one loan from one bank of 500 mil, and then another loan of 600 mil. So
yeah, wow,
pretty wild.
That's wild.
And yeah, obviously automatically selling positions. This is one thing you might not know who AOC is, but she's a super left-wing politician.
Okay.
And we've also got Trump, and AOC and Trump have completely agreed on something, which is super interesting.
Yeah.
It's that it was a super corrupt move to just automatically sell people's positions.
Yeah.
And they're both against the hedge funds taking the power from the people. So I thought that was actually pretty cool.
That is interesting.
They both had the same position there.
Nice.
And yeah, so here's maybe the section that might be the most interesting to some people, the boomer view. I chatted to a few finance professionals about this one.
Yeah.
The oldies. They said the Americans have gamified trading too much.
Yeah.
And it's too free and it's too easy.
Yeah.
And of course everyone's going to spend their money on that,
Yeah.
because they're all silly. And then my last and final point is the meme review. Here we go. We've got Big Bird sitting in the at the conference table. It says GameStop sitting amongst Tesla and Amazon after Reddit made it a Fortune 500 company. Classic. Big Bird sitting at a conference table. Classic.
That's great.
And that wraps up GameStop.
Perfect. Just one meme.
Yeah, I only had one meme. I was planning to do more.
No, one's perfect. I mean, it was a good quality meme.
Yeah.